Hi guys, aloha. Welcome back to Faith in Between. Let's get into this entire episode because I am sitting here trying to record this and I'm starting to realize, and I've been trying to record like other things and stuff, especially for Faith in Between. I'm starting to realize the problem. I have a problem with like trying to make sure that everything is set in a certain way. And I think this is what God is trying to break me out from, because I am so worried about like how I sound, how I look, what my background looks like. And I know that these are important things, but they get so much in the way of the podcast that I barely post, right? Like you guys see, I just posted my last episode, which was great. My first episode that I did, my very first video episode, and it was so good. I mean, but it also was so stressful, and it's always stressful like that for me because I'm trying my best to like cookie cutter it into this thing that I'm like, this is what I need it to be. And like, I seriously, honestly believe like right now in this moment, as I push record, God is like, but why are you still doing that? Like, this is why I have a hard time completing things that I really want to do, because instead of just doing it the way that I would do it, just do it that way. I end up trying to make everything so that way it looks nice, sounds nice, and I say the nice things. And it's not that I'm not worried about those things, because I am worried about this. Like I'm not worried, but like I am mindful of those things. I'm not gonna like sit in the middle of a huge, pile of mess and record. But I think God at this point is like, Fats, like, why are you still doing it like this? Because now this is going back like years, right? Faith in Between has been happening for almost 6 years, and the way that it's been happening is the same way that it's always been happening, and it's not a very productive way, because every time I want to sit down and record something, I end up doing all of this other stuff, and then I only have like real little bit time to actually do the episode that I want to do. I'm so caught up and so worried about every other detail that it just loses its purpose. And like, I'm sitting here right now trying to record this one episode and literally like failing at it completely because I'm trying to do it perfect. Does that even make sense? Like, because I'm trying to do it perfect and right and exactly how I'm imagining it a podcast should look like when it's being video recorded, I'm feeling myself already. And God is literally just being like, slow down, right? And just do what I'm asking you to do. Instead of hanging on every single detail, set up your camera nicely. Make sure it's in a good spot, which is the hardest part, right, of this whole thing. Setting up my camera nicely and like putting it somewhere. And after that, just record. And after that, just sit down and record and start talking, because that is where God has me. When I think about where God uses me the most, it's when I just sit down and talk stories with somebody else. And it's very interesting to me because I try and explain that to other people, and I've tried to explain that on this show for a very long time, but I don't think it's registering the right way. But again, it's because I'm so eager to try and make you understand it that I just end up like over explaining and just saying all this other kinds of stuff. And so I think, and it's not even that, it's also like my kids are in the background. I locked them out of my room because I'm like, no, like, get out. I'm trying to record. But every time a noise is on the outside of that door, every time something imperfect happens around me while I'm recording, I lose all sense of myself. I lose track of what I was talking about. And then I start trailing on, and then I start losing what it is that I was trying to actually talk about, or what God was trying to, push out through me. And it's such a kryptonite for me. And guys, mind you, I am not a perfectionist at any cost. Like there are things that I can do that and just do them. But when I'm in front of other people, and this is something that I've talked about before on the podcast, way, way, way earlier in the podcast, but I've talked about this, and this has a lot to do with our DOE school system that we've experienced. I don't know if the kids nowadays are experiencing this, but we are definitely experiencing this as the generation that I was in. And it was really like, when you're in front of other people, when you come up to present, you present with like the utmost, most like proper person that you can find within yourself. And and I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think what happened was every time I'm in front of a crowd or I'm in front of people or I'm in front, like I always change the demeanor of myself because I'm like, myself is not good enough for what's, you know what I mean? For like the masses. Like I need to be proper and respectful and all this stuff, which is not, I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying like, because of that was pushed on me, like even the way that I speak, a lot of people will comment on like how I speak because I don't speak very much pidgin. Now don't get it twisted. Like when I'm with my family, when I'm off camera at the beach, like that's our language, that's how I speak because that's what everybody is speaking around me. But again, I was taught in school that when you get up in front of other people, you switch it and you turn it off because pidgin is not, back in the day, because now I know pidgin is noticed as the actual language, or it's recognized, right? Pidgin Creole. But it wasn't back then. And back then you couldn't just be, you couldn't go up in a presentation, even for school, even in a local school, like even at White and I High School, where all the kids are of the masses are Hawaiian and all speak pidgin. We weren't allowed to do that. And it's funny because it was the same thing for our great grandparents and our grandparents, right? They weren't allowed to speak the native Hawaiian language, even though the masses was speaking Hawaiian, right? And so it happened too with pidgin. And because by the time we were in school, Hawaiian language was not even in school. They're still trying to bring Hawaiian language back into our schools, right? But now it's like pidgin is like and they've always been, and I think they've succeeded at some level to get pidgin Creole out of school because it sounds like such a broken language. But honestly, like that's how us local people talk all the time. But you rarely see it, and I believe, and I think that this is just a realization for myself, and I don't know if you're a local person listening and watching this, but this has kind of been drilled into us. And so I'm sitting here and I'm just like, Fatso, why are you taking so forever to do this? Why is it every time you start this camera you lose track of yourself? And the short and the long answer is just because that's what was drilled into me as a kid. Like, that's it. Going to school, being in school, like, that's just it. And so now God is really showing me right in this moment, like, this isn't even a planned episode. Like, I had something else planned, but I was like, no, you know what? If I'm really going to listen to you, Lord, like, here and now, I'm going to drop all of that. And I'm just going to speak from where I'm standing or where I'm sitting right now. And this is what's on my mind. And it's because this is so true. Like, we do this every single time in our lives. Like, we are trying our best to like make sure it's all set up the right way in what we think is right in our minds, that we just totally miss the entire point of what we were trying to do. And then we end up losing stamina. We end up losing spark for this thing because we're so stressed out trying to make it like perfect and good for the world that we forget that the way that God created us, what message that he gave to us, exactly how we are and who we are, is meant for specific people, right? Like, we are not meant to do the job of everybody in the church. We're only meant to do the job of what God had blessed us with, the gifts, the talents, things that we specifically, right, are blessed with to give. And I think that's my problem. I want to do all of the jobs because I feel like I feel like if I try and reach every single person, then that will help, right? Like, help, which it might not. And it's funny that I even say that because that's kind of where my actual message was going to come from. The fact that I'm not going to appeal and I'm not going to, be everybody's cup of tea. Like, not everybody is going to be okay with me, or they're not going to like maybe the way that I speak or the way that I look. But there is people out here who is gonna like what I'm saying, who is gonna understand what I'm saying, and who's gonna need the things that I'm talking about and the things that God is asking me to share. And so because of that, just do it. Do it the way that God had called you to do it. Don't try and do it like how everybody else is doing it. And that is like the number one issue with my podcast right now. It's because I've tried so hard for so many years to do it how everybody else does it. every single time I push record, or every time, not even video recording, just like voice podcasting, I always had the thought of like, oh, but they do it like this and they are really good at it and they have a lot of views and they have a lot of subscribers. Maybe I should do it that way. And one thing that taught me differently was because I started posting on social media a lot more, reels, posts, and I started seeing that there is a masses that like my videos, like they like what I put out there, masses. And it started making me think like, maybe who I am, maybe the authentic person that I am actually is okay with people. And here's the thing, right? Not okay with every person, right? I get that. I understand I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But for the people who do enjoy what I do and do enjoy listening and hanging out with me, those are the people. And those are the people that God is going, that those are the people that I'm meant to connect with, right? And I think it's funny because the message that I had today was about how the thing that the way that I work with in the sphere of church, or like in the sphere of like what I believe and how Christ operates, right? How I operate through Christ, is that I get into relationship with people, and that's friendships, right? And that's like work relationship, like where they're my coworker or something, but somewhere along the line we click. And I mean click, like we get along, we talk stories, they enjoy my company, I enjoy their company, and we really get connected with one another. And not just like hi bye, or like, once in a while. Like we actually do have great conversations, and this is with a lot of people that I meet. And it might not be right away, and it might not be like at first meet, like, oh my gosh, like the very first time we met, which I had some of those, but not all the time. But eventually we build a relationship, so much so where they trust what I say and I trust what they say, and we both consider the things that we tell each other. When I get to this point in my relationship with other people, in our friendships, this is when I actually start implementing Christ into the conversations that we're having. Because, and hear me out, I know, right? Like, but we're supposed to spread the gospel to everybody. We're supposed to be bold and tell everybody about Christ. I know that. I get that. But right now, that's not my gift or my talent or my skill. And yes, I understand that we can practice this. I've heard pastors talk about this. Like, you gotta, go out and we're gonna do a test. And there was this one church service I went to, and I understood what the pastor was saying, right? But they were like, oh, we put it into practice and we make them go out and we make them talk about Christ, and we make them, or like, it's like a challenge that you have to talk to like two strangers on the street, right? And to me, I'm like, dang, like I can't do that. As much as I am a people person and I can talk stories with a lot of people, sharing Christ with other people that I do not know, or like the strangers like on the street, is very difficult for me. It's very difficult for me because, and listen to what I'm telling you, I know there's people already ready to rip on their keyboard. I can feel it. But listen to what I'm saying. Because if I share Christ with somebody who I have no clue what they're struggling with, what they're dealing with, whom I have no personal deep connection with, and I mean, it doesn't have to be like 6 feet deep, like deep. I mean, just like mutual understandings of each other. If I don't know that person, my thought is, what kind of damage can I do versus good? Like, if I'm not coming correct to this person, whoever it may be, a stranger, let's say a stranger on the side of the road, right? This challenge that this pastor was talking about. If I am not coming correct in what they need as far as what Christ is in their life currently, then am I causing more harm than good? Because so much so as I want people to come to Christ, some people, and I think this is the people that I really attract, which is crazy, which is why I say this is a gifting that I have. Some people need finesse when talking about Christ. Some people need extra care when talking about Christ, because as much as we want to, because we know how amazing Christ is, right? We know that this is a thing, but not everybody knows this. And some people have experienced very hurtful things when it comes to Christianity and Christ, that they are not ready to hear it. And it's not about being ready or not ready, but it's also not about shoving things down their throat while they're in the middle of a divorce. You know what I mean? While they're and yes, I get it. Christ is there in the middle of the divorce. Christ can, or being homeless, or any of these situations that we can go and pinpoint about these people that you guys want to, go and talk about. But it's like, but in the midst of that, we are trying to just talk to them about Christ when they don't even know if they're going to be able to pay their mortgage next month. And that's a real thing, right? It's a real human thing where we feel this anxiety and this struggle, because some of us cannot even pay our freaking mortgage next month, and we're all trying to figure out how we're going to do that. So the last thing some people need is for people like me who love Christ, who is, who to come to their faces and be like, you got to know Jesus, like you don't know who Jesus is. Right? Because it's also about like how you say it, right? And I'm a big believer in this. And I don't know who's gonna like come and shoot me down about this, but there's a way to do it. And everybody is different. And I am not the person to speak to every single person about Christ. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be the person. Some people are gonna look at me and be like, girl, bye. Like, I don't even want to give you the time of day. But that's because whatever they're dealing with in their life, whatever they've experienced, whatever it is, something about me, I'm just not the person. But there is people that when I speak to, when I get into communication, when I get into connection with them, into relationship with them, they are going to hear every single word that I say. And I have many people like that in my life. Many people where we were complete strangers, we became friends, and we walk with Christ together now. Like this is a real thing in my life. Excuse me, sorry, my husband's calling me. I have to hold on, man. What, like 5 more minutes? This is a thing, right? And so I don't even know where that all came from, honestly, but I just want to push the point of, I understand that we have to spread the gospel. I understand that everybody should know about Jesus Christ, and that we want to give, we want to tell them about Jesus Christ. I know that, guys, okay? But hear me when I say there is a time, there is a place, there is a way to do it. And the way that God has blessed me to do it, I don't know how he's blessed you. He has blessed some people to be able to walk out on the street and do that. He's blessed people like that, because I'm not like that. I'm sorry to say that's not me. But he has blessed me with the ability to be able to get into relationship, get into connection with people, talk stories, and put God in there in the right time. And that is okay. All right. The way that you do it doesn't have to look like everybody else. And that's so crazy that was my initial message. And then I just was like, never mind, I'm not going to do it. But I ended up coming right back around to it, even from where I first started. You guys got to know, this is just God in the works. Like this is all of that. The moment I was like, you know what, Lord, I'm done. I'm just going to surrender it, and I'm just going to do it and just push record and have no game plan. God did it all. Like literally from the first part of this message to right now, this is nuts. This is so crazy, but it's true. We all have a gift. We all have a talent. We all have a skill, and it's not going to look the same way. And that even comes, don't let people make you feel like you're doing it wrong. Like the way that you share Christ is wrong because you're not doing it in this big, bold way. Because I get it. I'm unable to do that too. Yes, maybe I can learn how to do it. Yes, maybe. But you know what? God didn't skill me in that area. But he did skill me in the area of talking stories, learning about what other people are struggling with, and connecting with people through that. And then sharing Christ with them through that. So however it is that you share Christ, girl, do it. However it is that you film, do it. However it is that you do what you do it because you're doing it because God gave you those gifts and those talents, and the way that you do it, it might look so unorthodox to other people, but that's how God created you. He created you unique. You don't have to be like everybody else. Okay? So I just wanted to give you that message. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so crazy. And I'm so happy that I even did that because I feel so good about this episode. But I know that I just jumped straight into the episode and I was just on fire, so I couldn't. But I want to share with you guys my product for this episode. I'm going to try keep doing this. I don't know. I might be running out of products soon, but I am going to share my candle. And I share this because it's almost fall. It's almost my birthday. My birthday is during fall. It's in October. It's the day before Halloween, actually. And fall and not winter, fall and Christmas candles. I'm gonna say Christmas candles because technically I think Christmas falls in fall during our cycle. It's not in winter technically, but I'm gonna share my candle. This is from CVS or from Long's, and it's vanilla sugar shortbread scented candle. I love fall candles and Christmas candles. I don't like fruity ones, but this one is amazing. We had it on all day yesterday, and it just makes me feel cozy and like, oh, fall is happening, and I just love it so much. So I know I was supposed to do this in the beginning, but I got carried away. Like Holy Spirit just took me on this one. So I wanted to share it at the end. But yes, this is my autumn candle. I think I went too early at TJ Maxx because they never have any candles. I usually get my candles from TJ Maxx or from Long's. But yes, so this is my product. I just love the scent of it. I just love candles. They're just so warm and relaxing. But okay, that is it for this episode. I am so stoked, guys, because this has freed me in a lot of ways to come back and bring you guys more episodes and bring you guys better quality episodes, because now I'm excited. Now I'm like, Lord, we got this. And I'm just again, because I'm done trying to do it the way everybody else is doing it. I'm done trying to be this picture perfect, because that's not the point. That was never the point of Faith in Between. And I'm so excited because there's so much other episodes now that I can do based upon this one, because it was never about being perfect in front of you guys. It was never about showing you guys like, hey, this is my life. It's so amazing. No, the purpose of Faith in Between was to show you guys my faith in between all the things that is going on in my life, so that it can encourage you to build your faith in between all the things that are going on in your life. And that's where Faith in Between was built. And that's where I'm going to now stand on it and move in that. But okay, thank you guys so much for showing up to this video. Again, find me on Instagram, Facebook, and I think I'm going to make a TikTok. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of on the fence about that one. But I do, and on YouTube, on my Faith in Between playlist. But if not, I also have other playlists that I'm still kind of building. So don't worry if my page is bare. Don't mind it. I'm going to start getting more episodes out there. But this is the Faith in Between podcast playlist. Thank you guys so much for coming. Find me on social media. Like and comment on my videos because they're so cute and funny. And oops, sorry. And okay, on that note, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.